Hola, gringas and gringos.
We are Gringos Are Us.
Expats with a plan.
Today we're going to talk about the town of Zákia, where we just got done living for 2 months. Coming up next.
Welcome back. So today we want to talk a little bit about where we just got done living. It is a neighborhood just a little northeast of Querétaro by about 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's about right.
Called Zákia.
It's a development that is planned, and inside the development are subdevelopments, each one with gated communities and guardhouses that you get into. And it's a relatively self-sufficient, with the exception of a grocery store, which H-E-B and Walmart are not that far away. It's all pretty much right there, encompassed all in that one
area.
Yeah, I was going to use the word development again, but I used it 3 times. So I think I was going to say
it's okay. But it is important to note that Zákia, just like Zibatá, which is above Zákia on a hill, while they do have shopping, you're really not walking to anything. Unless, of course, you want to get some exercise and walk to the green space.
Or you happen to be in one of the developments that's close to one of the 2 shopping centers. There's a shopping center area right as you come into the development, and then there's another one at the very back end. So if you're close to one of those, it could be an easy walk.
Yeah.
If you're like we were and pretty much in the middle, it was a good little hike if you wanted to go to an OXXO or anything like that.
True. And both of the OXXOs were in smaller strip mall type developments. They all had restaurants.
Yes. Coffee shops.
Yeah.
Taquerias.
And the food was good.
Yes.
It was good food. Yeah.
Both of them had pizza and wing places, and there was a vet in there.
Couple vets now.
Yep. Barber shop. Also a day spa, and right before we left, they opened up a gym, a Planet Fitness or Anytime Fitness.
It was Anytime Fitness.
So it was a nice little area, very quiet.
Very quiet, for sure.
If you're looking to get the Mexican experience,
not really.
No, it's pretty remote. I mean, it took us, well, it was a 200 peso Uber to get into Centro one way, and
if they didn't cancel because they didn't want to drive all the way out there to get you.
True.
Yeah. So,
but there was the Walmart, there was the H-E-B, there was the La Comer, Paseo Queretaro mall is right down the road a little bit, so that was fairly convenient. And there was some shopping up in Zibatá as well, but you have to go through the gate to get into there. So
Relocation wasn't too terribly far away, probably about equal distance as Querétaro.
Yeah.
And there was some higher end shopping to be found there. Not that we were looking for higher end shopping. So.
Well, yeah, you had the Antilla Mall, and then
there was a Sam's Club.
Sam's Club.
And that grocery store, City Market.
City Market was there.
And there's, a couple nice hospitals nearby.
Mm-hmm. And it was fairly convenient to get to. I mean, it really was back out onto the main highway, and you went right up to Relocation, and it really was about equidistance between the 2.
If you're just catching us now, please consider subscribing and leaving a comment if you have anything you'd like to ask us or suggest to us. And don't forget,
As always, ring that bell. That way you get notified of all new content when it drops.
so one of the things I really did like about Zákia is that it was very manicured, relatively clean, no litter, no garbage anywhere, no bad smells anywhere.
No.
It was quiet. It was dusty though. It's still being developed. There is still work being done, constant construction.
Lots of dump trucks and
Yeah.
workers going in and out down to the end that they're still working on. And so,
And and we're in it's an arid location. It's dry, it's dusty. It is the desert. And now you're just adding construction.
And then throw some wind on top of that, and you're going to have some dust.
And it could get gusty.
Yes.
Very gusty. Weather-wise, I thought that the weather was really very, pretty easygoing. I think the coldest it got was the high 30s.
No. Got to 33 one night. 'Cause remember the plants in the garden
One night, you're right.
really went doom overnight. 'Cause
That's true.
But
that was a rarity.
that was.
I mean, honestly, I think the lowest it was really getting on the average was high 30s and a lot of times low 40s. And then during the day, I'd say upper 70s.
It was a lot of sun
A
time.
lot of sun, yes. It didn't rain very often. When it did, it was a hard rain. We did have storms one night. And
Yes.
It rained pretty good that one night.
That one night.
Yeah, while we were trying to sleep, which was not necessarily a bad thing.
No, that was the most we had as far as any type of inclement weather was that one time. And at night, if you were you were going any place, you need a jacket, a light jacket, unless you were one of the local Mexican nationals like Romy and Liz, and they were bundled up thinking that it was cold. And
right.
They're looking at me going,
Oh,
aren't you cold? No.
I do have to take it back to the smells. I have a very sensitive sense of smell in general. There is, and this is not uncommon throughout Mexico, and it is entirely based on type of construction with the sewage drains, basically. There was a sewage smell. I'm not saying it's to the house. I say in general there is a sewage smell if they don't use traps or they use the type of trap that allows that gas to travel. Now, I will say that putting that plastic guard over the drains, particularly in the showers, was very effective in cutting down on that smell. I wouldn't even notice it unless, of course, he forgot to cover the drain. And then I'd come to bed and I'd be like, he forgot to cover the drain.
That's because some of us, as you know, don't smell.
He doesn't smell.
So it was sort of I don't smell a thing.
Right. But I mean, that is
Except
a
for
thing.
her cheese.
Except for the cheese, which I just don't understand. How does he smell my cheese, but he doesn't smell sewage?
Gives you an idea how stinky the cheese really is.
I'd rather smell that cheese than the sewage.
Well, I can't smell the sewage, but I can smell the cheese.
So I put together a video of me walking to the green space that is in the area around Zákia. It's shared by all the developments that surround. It's kind of kidney bean shaped, has some ball courts for things like basketball, and there were
Exercise equipment.
Yeah,
that
the
were
exercise
outdoors.
equipment was great.
Walking trails.
Yeah.
Baños.
There were some fire pits that
Yes.
you could have bonfires, and there was playground equipment. I have heard that it doesn't get kept up as well as it should be, and I didn't inspect it because I have no children using it, and I never witnessed a single child ever on it. So I don't know.
It's a little bit windy out here today, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to fly my drone or not. I don't have my hat on anymore, as you can see, because, well, it wouldn't stay on my head. Sometimes it's just a breeze, and sometimes it's a gust, and I'm not really sure yet if I want to take that chance.
Also within the green space, there is a man-made lake. It's really quite beautiful, and it's just very peaceful. There's a bridge where you can cross over the water, and
That is lit up at night very nicely.
Oh yeah, and I didn't get any footage of it being lit up.
Well, we tried not to drive at night, especially after we hit the Tope at 45 miles an hour.
Good God, you never want to hit a Tope at 45 miles per hour. Anyway, across from this green space and the lake area, there's a very, very nice dog park. I was pretty impressed with the quality of the dog park, just saying.
Gotta take care of those perros.
But it has really nice vegetation around the area. It's quite popular among the residents. You'll see a lot of walkers, some runners, people walking their dogs. It's just really quite lovely. So I would say in Zákia, that's probably my favorite feature in that entire community was the green space. It's just so very pretty.
Well, my favorite part of the entire place was Santas Alitas, the wing place.
The wing place was good.
It was very good.
3 times we went there.
And
the last time we went there, they had a band who starts off playing classic rock
High Voltage.
in English.
Yes.
Is that the name of the band?
That was the name of the band.
Get out.
I wouldn't make that up.
They were playing CCR. They started off with, what did they start off with? I'm trying to remember now.
Come Together.
Oh, that's right. They did a Beatles song. They did some CCR.
Well, either that or you can say it was a Aerosmith song.
Well,
Depends on which
depending
version.
on which version.
Yes.
The version they were doing was a version I'd never quite heard before because the words were all wrong. Bless them, they gave it their best attempt.
And the music was
The
good.
music was great. It's just the words were all wrong.
Well, he's trying to read it off of his iPhone and phonetically doing it. You know, hey. And besides that,
But they sounded great.
you know, who'll stop Lorraine? You know,
Who'll stop Lorraine?
the people who speak English still get that wrong. Who's going to stop Lorraine? So, you know,
That's true.
I'm still trying to figure out who Lorraine is.
She knows there's a bathroom on the right.
That's right. But it was a place that we spent 2 months, and I think the biggest thing we came away with is that if Querétaro makes the final list as far as places that we are going to live, it would not be in some place like Zákia or Zibatá.
It would not. It's too far removed for us. And we want to be integrated with the local culture. And these places, I mean, they're cookie cutter places. They're very far removed from local culture. And I don't know. We really didn't see too many of our neighbors. Nobody's really out that much. I mean, everybody's kind of keeping to themselves. That's cool. I don't mind that. But it's pretty clear.
Well,
that,
we came from cookie cutter in the U.S. and then we ended up in cookie cutter in Zákia, and now, to be honest, we're in cookie cutter in San Miguel.
But I still feel a little closer to things.
No, we are,
For
because
sure.
we're. I mean,
Look right behind us.
5 minutes.
That's Centro right
we're
there.
in Centro, so it's a lot closer. But this is a cookie cutter development
Sure.
here, but
I felt so isolated in
Yes.
Zákia. I really felt isolated, and that's
and a lot of that is not only Zákia, it also is the fact that it was our first foray into Mexico. We had the language barrier, which God knows every time we went to go pay a bill at the OXXO, the poor people look at us, and we got better every time. We are getting better.
so maybe it was good for a soft landing.
It was.
You know.
I would say that if I had to pick a soft landing spot, I would say this is probably a softer landing spot than Querétaro, because there is more of a pronounced English here in San Miguel than there is in Querétaro.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean,
But I thought we had a great house.
we did.
It was very
Thank you, Landy and Roddy.
Yeah, it was very comfortable. Coming and going was an easy thing to do for the most part. Every time we drove past the Canadian school, or it's a French school.
The French school.
It was a French school.
Canadian school is what we passed on the way to
That's right.
Zákia.
But we kept passing this French school, and every time we go by, I try to get a good video of it, and always mess it up. But I think I finally got it. But I was very impressed that they had a French school, and it was right there.
Of course, the problem with that, for her getting the video, was there's also Tope biscuits and then a Tope, which made it a short period of time where it was smooth driving, and you always had 2 lanes coming into one. And so it was forever, well, sorry, I can't really slow down. I got to keep moving because this is the way the flow of traffic is going.
Sure.
So
it's cool. I thought it was a good launching spot to get to places in general. The traffic wasn't as bad right there. So if we wanted to get to the airport, if we wanted to go out to the Pueblo Mágicos,
well, yeah.
Herquia,
I mean, for the day trips,
yeah.
it was on the right side of Querétaro because it did lend itself. I mean, we went to Enrique Montes twice.
Yeah.
And, within 30 minutes, you could be in Tequisquiapan. You could be in Bernal in 45, Amialco in a little over an hour. So San Juan del Rio was not that far down the road. The airport was only about 25 minutes.
And I'm going to say this. When he first got sick, I made a solo trip in the car, my first time, out to the HEB to go to the grocery store. And getting there was fine. It was still daylight. So now I'm in the HEB, and, I'm a ladies, and I like to shop a little.
I don't.
And he doesn't. So when we go to the grocery store together, it's always a get in, get what you need, get out situation. And I'm looking for specific items, and we're in a place where we don't really know where everything is or what it's even called sometimes. So I took advantage of my solo shopping experience, and I really shopped. Well, I think it was almost 2 hours later.
I wouldn't know. I was in the bed.
And I walk outside, and now it's dark. Now, this is my first solo trip out, folks, and I get in the car, and my headlights are on, but it doesn't matter. There's very few lit streets in this area, and maybe all of Mexico's like that. I don't know. It's hard to see. This is the real reason why people tell you don't drive at night in Mexico. It's not because they think you're going to get carjacked or some narco is going to come up and sneak up on you and do horrible things to you. No, it's the road conditions. It's dark.
Well,
It's dark.
it's a combination of two things. It's the road conditioning and not being familiar with the way that they drive.
Right,
So
right.
you're constantly on the lookout for someone pulling out in front of you, stopping dead in front of you,
Yeah.
turning left or right,
Right in
from
front
the
of
wrong,
you.
from the wrong
I
lane,
mean,
and then
nobody looks to see what's going on around them. And so you've got to be observant.
now let's throw in unpainted topes.
You don't see all the topes. The roads are not lit. Not even inside the small little towns where there's people walking around. You can't see the people till the last minute. You can't see the animal that might be crossing the street. You can't see the tope. And you're still trying to figure out how to maneuver around some of these things in the dark. This is why you don't drive at night.
We now know that you can take a Kia Sorento and go airborne.
Ain't no lie. He hit the one tope at 45 miles per hour, very close to the neighborhood. We were almost home. And he hit this thing, and he hit it so hard, my sunglasses on my head flew off my head and landed on the floor.
Okay, Corey Hart.
I'm just saying.
She was wearing her sunglasses at
No,
night.
they were on top
Oh,
of my head.
okay. All right.
But he hit it so hard that they flew off my head.
Everything in the car flew.
It's true. We were airborne. We seriously had to check the tires and everything when we got back to the house because I was so worried that we probably would have damaged something. Yeah.
We hit it good. And it was not a small one.
No. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit of the aerial view of the green space around Zákia and a little bit of the things that were in our area, our neighborhood.
Well, that was our home for 2 months.
Yeah.
And hope that you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed all the content that came out of our time there. We will be doing a Querétaro wrap-up.
Soon.
That will be coming soon.
And we would like to ask if you are enjoying our content, if you're getting any information out of it, please consider subscribing to our channel, helping our community grow.
And you guys have done a wonderful job of making that grow. It's every time we look at it, we just keep going, where do these people keep coming from? And it's just like, and then we love getting the comments, and we're getting comments from people, you know, that are first time subscribers and they're going, hey, we're right behind you. We're going to be 6 months behind you. We're a year behind you.
It's so inspirational to hear that they're watching us and getting tips.
That pretty much wraps up Zákia.
We are Gringos are us.
Expats with a plan.
Remember that. We
are
are doing it.
You can too.
Hasta la próxima vez.
Adios.